Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Puffco Peak Pro Diamond Dab of the day. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me. As always, since you're going to enjoy today's video, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, send a like, and I reply to all the comments. Let's get started with today's topic. Are you bored? Is there nothing to do? How many people out there are in constant boredom? How do you cure your boredom? Let's discuss. It's important because boredom arrives from repetition. So if you want to cure boredom, start by noticing how many new experiences we have every day. Because doing, seeing, engaging with new things is what creates the space for curiosity and inspiration. As part of that, we might even feel a little bit afraid, tempered with our excitement, but it will be worth it. So let's discuss how we can cure boredom and reignite the spark. Cheers. Here we go. You can travel. That's right. You can travel, spending a holiday in an idyllic spot. You can do benign, healthy activities. You can become part of repetition, if that makes any sense, because you can find a place to go that's not far from you. You can go to this place. You can find comfort. You can take longer time if you want to spend more than a week, more than 2 weeks, because what you're going to do is holiday. That's right. You're going to eliminate the boredom by breaking up the monotony. It's a difficult time, still probably to travel, but if that's what you want to do to fulfill yourself with new experiences, do it. Explore. Get out of your comfort zone. What about learning a new language? That's right. If you feel bored, you got a lot of time on your hands. Maybe you can enhance your ability to communicate. You want to speak Chinese? You want to speak German? There's nothing more satisfying than being able to converse with a person in another language. It opens wonderful doors of opportunities to recognize differences and similarities between cultures, and you also might make new friends. Think about it. If you speak another person's language, that friendship can develop into a really wonderful one because you're going to talk the language of that other person, not just because you're curious, but because you're respectful of them, their country, and their culture. So learning a language could really not just enhance our being busy, but could enhance our social life and our ability to meet and engage people. We've got to empower ourselves. You see, boredom is considered a state, but it's really a thought. So the thought is, I'm bored, but it means that you're being bored. So who's boring me? Well, is my conscious state altering my subconscious? We've got to take ownership of our life. We've got to take ownership for us having nothing to do. If we're going to learn how to cure boredom, you've got to let go of the self-pity. You've got to stop saying, I'm so bored. You got to stop thinking, oh my God, it's just not fair. And you got to stop screaming out, why is it happening to me? They're not useful thoughts. It would be a whole lot more useful to let those thoughts go and try to reignite our life with positive affirmations instead. How about be creative? It's what we were born to do. Whether it's artistically, musically, or literally, it's something you can do alone. It might even be practical. Creative gardening, creative carpentry, maybe even a business plan. Get those creative juices flowing, and you know what it does? It neutralizes the feelings of boredom, and it reignites your feeling of life. You want to play the guitar? You want to play the violin? Learn how to play a new instrument. I'm not kidding. I have always wanted to play the piano. I want to get an upright piano in the house. When people come in, they would see it, and I'm going to be the guy playing it. Do-it-yourself learning about all kinds of things is out there. So the way you can avoid tunneling in and being in the vacuum is by trying something new. Learn musical instrument. Move. That's right. Physical activity produces endorphins, which interact with our brain, creating positive feelings. The feeling of boredom cannot exist with positive feelings. So a perfect way to cure it is to get up and start walking. It's hard for me with my back. Do it. Dance if you can. You'll never be bored when you're enjoying the experience of pushing yourself physically. The pain I feel when I walk, sugar, is necessary, believe it or not, for me. You also want to start taking conscious breaths. If you're not thinking, then you can't think that you're bored. And when you're present, you cannot conceive of the two things that prompt comparison between your current state and an alternative fantasy. For example, conscious breathing reduces stress because it's the thing you're doing. It brings your mind back to the here and now. And the best part about conscious breathing, square breathing, only takes a couple of minutes. We've also got to learn to accept the reality for what the reality is. Boredom is the resistance to what is. Think about it. You're pushing out of that paper bag because you're in the paper bag. Well, guess what? Accept that you're in the paper bag. We all have things to do from time to time. Some of them may be time-consuming. Some of them may be uninspiring. They may even seem boring, but they need to get done. So we've got to resist the victim mode, the poor me mode, doing the things we do. Choose to do what we have to do. And do it the best of the ability that you can with as much enthusiasm as you can muster. And you know what? It'll make a tremendous amount of difference versus, oh, I gotta do this. Oh my God, I just did it. If you can get it out and be with it, it'll make you feel better. My office looks well stocked. I wouldn't call it cluttered, but you know what you need to do also in these situations to cure boredom? How about all the shirts that don't fit? How about all the underwear that doesn't fit? How about that old exercise bike in the basement? Cure boredom by decluttering. Aim for a little bit more minimalist lifestyle. And if your goal is to occupy your time and energy, you might look in your basement, you might look in the attic, and you might say, wow, I got a lot of work here, or your garage. Think about it. You might have an unending list of projects. What if you like to cook? How about a new recipe? How about watching a cooking program on TV? You know, boredom's a funny thing. We kind of stare like this, waiting for the next thing to happen. Well, it's the next stress and anxiety because we're waiting for the thing that's taking so long. Why didn't I choose the other thing? Well, what about that? Oh my God. You see, we've got to give ourselves freedom. We've got to allow time to be our master, if that makes any sense. We've got to recognize everything for what it is and be grateful. Focus on the gratitude. Think of the three things that we can be grateful for with life and sit our asses down and chew on those for a few minutes. If you do that every day, you might learn how to cue boredom. You might feel good about those little things. And you know what is difficult to do when you're thinking about something good? It's difficult to feel bored. Boredom really stems from the lack of our ability to just be. Quiet silence. Unfortunately for me, it's been difficult all my life with quiet silence. But the pace of the world around us isn't the pace we all have to be working with. We can sit quietly and we can look at the outside world beyond our walls, if you will, and say, you know what? We're going at our pace. We're not going at their pace. We're going at our pace. And allow yourself to clear your mind. You close your eyes and you ask yourself, what is the next thing that I think of going to be? What's it going to be? They used to always want to watch Howard Stern, people, or listen to Howard Stern. And the reason they said the message was because I want to see what he's going to say next. I want to see what he's going to say next. So boredom might not be the enemy. Think about it. Don't get negative. Recognize that it's there. Why do I feel this way? Is it a blessing that I have quiet and nothing going on? Maybe we should see the boredom as an opportunity and analyze what's going on. And wait a second, we have a chance to reignite our life if we understand it better. It's not just boredom. It's not just quiet. It's lack of problems. There's no stress. So what we need to then understand is that we can actually get closure. We actually can understand if we're feeling bored and get lost, that there might be something holding us back, whether it's grief, fear, anger, or disappointment. We engage in the reflection on those things and we get closure so we can move forward. Boredom is negative, unempowering. We can engage with it. We can unstuck ourselves, break through, and give ourselves a chance. Boy, I got to tell you, once we step out of that comfort zone just a little bit, whether it's a new hobby or a new book or a new show or talk to a person you haven't seen in years, that stuff's what reignites us. That's the kind of stuff that helps gets us past boredom. Remember, boredom, in truth, is a doorway to possibilities. Our job is just to remove the darkness and choose from all the options out there to rebuild the passion and interest in our life. We've got the ability to do it. We can do it. We can turn ourselves around from boredom to excitement. We can turn ourselves from boredom to anything we want. This has been The Real Senior Stoner, and we have been talking about what do you do when you're bored? How do you handle boredom? I appreciate everybody being here today. This is the Puffco Peak Pro Diamond Dab of the Day. Going to use our electric dab tool and push our dab off that way today. Right in. And again, I want to thank everybody for being here today. This is the Real Senior Stoner. Going out on green with our Puffco Peak Pro. Waiting for the dab train. Thanks everyone for being here. You too can end your boredom. Cheers everyone. Have a very wonderful day, and thanks for joining the Real Senior Stoner. You know what to do if you enjoyed the video. Cheers. Here comes the dab train. Thanks for joining the Real Senior Stoner, everybody. Have a wonderful day out there. Cheers.